Hey folks, welcome to part 9 of the God of War commentary. And of all the challenges in Pandora's Temple, it's around here where things just slow down tremendously. I mean, we've already classified Pandora's Temple as a major roadblock, even though it is significant to the plot. It's here where things. So, who has discussions tonight?
I could just feel your soul being sucked out just from you talking about it, but I don't actually remember what happens here. So,
Well,
It's a water level.
oh,
Oh, wait, is there terrible swimming controls in God of War?
Yep.
no.
Well, they're not terrible, but I played
terrible.
better.
But it's like you don't do anything in the water besides go from one point to another, so what the hell's the point? You know, I mean, there's one or two obstacles in an underwater segment, but it feels so shoehorned in. It's rather pointless.
yeah. There's something about adventure games that they seem to think they need to have some sort of aquatic situation for the characters to go through. Because, well, from a storytelling perspective and also from a gameplay perspective, when done right, an underwater segment can be interesting in the sense that it puts you in a very uncomfortable situation. One where your movement is limited and you have to deal with threats while your movement is limited, and
To
usually
this
with
day,
a breath system implemented.
yeah, to this day, I still one of my least favorite underwater, least favorite, most hated, I guess you can switch between the two, is when you're suddenly thrown underwater in Tomb Raider 2, the original PlayStation 1. I hated that sequence of the game because you guys know how I hate underwater segments in that game. You're just thrown into the dark, and you got to get to this point quickly under a certain amount of time because you're running out of air, and you got sharks surrounding you.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck this.
Well, that kind of stuff can work in like Tomb Raider Legends era games where the controls were actually good, but Retro Tomb Raider, for those younger members of our audience who have never played it, everything controlled with tank controls. Your walking and running controls, your swimming controls.
How
Now,
do you-
tank controls when you're on the ground is hard enough, but when you're underwater and you have to deal with pointing yourself in any given direction at any given time, it can get incredibly clunky.
How do you even do tank controls underwater? I don't get it.
Basically,
3D
you
does it.
angle yourself in whatever direction you want to go, and you hold the button to go forward.
Is
So,
there
in
like
a sense,
an ascend or descend button?
in a
as well?
sense, it's really it feels exactly about as limiting as swimming should be, but not exactly for the right reasons.
Basically, you're essentially a car. You know, you have in an underwater case one button that propels you forward, but up and down is used to
Oh,
control
please
your
tell me that
ascend
this
and
is not
descend.
another one of those segments where Kratos deliberately murders someone just to progress.
Well,
Yeah.
he has to in order to solve this.
You know
puzzle.
what he could do? He could break open the cage, let the person out, and then use it as a paperweight. That would be a good idea.
No, I think it needs a guy in there.
Then put a bunch of rocks in it.
It's not like there's any shortage
There's
of rubble
like-
lying around.
Yeah, like we're walking past pieces of rubble that Kratos could very, very, very easily pick up and just put in the cage.
I don't think in barbaric times.
I just want to know is where the heck did all these people come from to get put in the cages in the first place? Did they like make it this far and then give up or something?
Yeah, Kratos is not the only one who's tried to traverse through Pandora.
No, I get that. It's just a matter of where did these guys come from.
Oh, I don't know. And who captured them?
Yeah. And why did they capture them?
You know what kind of makes these sequences really annoying to me? The absolute gaminess of the contrivance that this person is stuck somewhere where you have no choice but to kill them in order to solve a very video gamey puzzle. It's like, it's not even a situation where you killing this person makes any sense. So whatever kind of emotional impact it should have, be it one of empowerment or one of disturbance, is completely lost when you can't shut your brain off to the fact that you really shouldn't have been put in this situation in the first place.
Well,
even in the grittiest of worlds.
I don't care. I don't know this guy.
Yeah, that's I see what you're getting at, Lewis, but I was not thinking about that at all while playing this game. Does that make me an asshole? Most likely. But
No,
You're in the
it
role
doesn't,
of
because
you're in the role of Kratos at the moment, and he definitely doesn't give a shit about what happens to him.
It's that kind of situation that I was talking about with the dissonance thing last session, where the game sort of wants you to have a story and a character that you can think about, but the actual gameplay attached to it is utterly brainless in this. Not brainless exactly, but not like deliberately stupid. And to some degree, you can shut your brain off and deal with that, but
Switch. Hello. Well, no, actually, what happened here is that you have to flick it once to get an idea of what it does, and then you have to flick it again.
Oh,
it's kind of
wait.
weird like that.
wait, you actually did have to kill someone in order to activate the mechanism.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because the gods are
testing
dicks.
you. Yeah, we talked about earlier the gods are dicks, and this is before he opens Pandora's box.
Yeah, but does this mechanism is it advanced enough to be able to tell the difference between a human and
I'm going
say
to assume yes.
There's
livestock?
magic in this world.
There's magic in this world.
Yeah, well, if I had the opportunity, I would just drag a cow in a cage and try that
Oh
first.
yeah, burgers.
Although,
Why did Arthur leave this year?
I mean, that's obviously something that Kratos can't do, because just think of the logistics of leaving this place again, going through the desert, getting a cow from some farm, and then climbing back up Kronos with the cow in tow. That would just be, yeah, ludicrous.
Now, we got Poseidon's trident here, which allows us to breathe indefinitely underwater. But I should note that up until this point, Kratos couldn't even swim until he gets this. And now he can. He can at least submerge in water.
I like them giving you the you can breathe underwater upgrade the moment swimming enters the equation. At that point, why not just say he always had it?
Yeah, that would probably require some development time that they clearly didn't
And I mean,
have.
like, Sonic Adventure 2 sort of did that in the sense that the breathing mechanism was in the same Knuckles level where swimming was introduced, but you had to find it, and a lot of players went through that level and never
I
found
didn't,
it.
which made Cannon's Core a living hell when I got to that point.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but
Cannon's
the thing
Core
is,
is
though,
possible
the difference
without
between
it,
that
but-
and this is that, at least in the Adventure series, there were still air bubbles for you to ingest, I guess, without the air necklace. But you got the air
Yeah, you
necklace
just
anyway.
straight up can't get through this section without picking up the trident
Yeah.
first.
Well, first off, because you can't even submerge in water without Poseidon's trident. Breathing indefinitely is just an added bonus in this case.
Can you attack with it?
No.
No.
Oh, that's lame. Tridents are cool.
You can just start forward like a dolphin.
Yeah.
I will say that the water effect is quite nice. From the surface, I mean. It has aged a little tiny bit, but it's nice for the
Yeah,
time.
because if you look closely, you can see the segments.
Yeah, you can see the seam where it's
displacement.
like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
Well,
a water
that's-
block, that's a water block.
That's not something you would have been able to see in the original. That's just the HD version shitting its bed, like Dante and Devil May Cry 3. And like the very first real-time cutscene, you can sort of see the seam between the left side of Dante's face and the right side of Dante's face, which is really
Why?
terrible. It's only in that one scene, too. I'm not really sure why. It's just something about the lighting in Dante's office and the camera angle makes it visible.
I'll tell you, Zeus bless Lance of the Furies. It's the
If anyone wants to confirm that, it's the scene where Dante kicks the camera at the end of the first mission. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Lance of the Furies is one of the last maneuvers you get for Blades of Chaos after fully maxing them out. Basically, you're in midair, you can press L1 and circle to charge up a shockwave attack. Now you are the big boss of God of War. You have your own shockwave maneuver, but it is great for the mini Cerberuses.
It's
Yeah.
rare when your own shockwave actually does something like a boss's does.
It's great because this game just spams Cerberus to hell and back at this point in time. It's like, if you're gonna do that, maybe it wouldn't have been such a bad idea to, leave in some of those consensual enemies you had in this game. I wouldn't mind a skeleton or two compared to a fucking Cerberus.
Yeah, that's enemy variety makes or breaks games, and at some points, God of War 1 doesn't quite have that.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, this one's already big. It's like I forgot it, and I'm gonna knock it in the air and poop you in
Of course,
the
the moment we ask for enemy variety, what we get is fucking harpies.
And
Great,
Cerberus.
thanks.
So have we basically seen all the enemies in the game?
Yes.
Okay, because that was...
One, except one, and we haven't seen satyrs yet.
Because that was one... Like, I wasn't a big fan of Bayonetta when I played it. That's just not really my genre. But one thing that I did enjoy was that up until the very end of the game, they were always introducing new enemy types. Like, I think it wasn't
Yeah.
until, like, the last third when they were basically resorting to just recolors of stuff.
Yeah.
But by that point, there were so many bosses going on that it
And then
didn't
the
matter.
harpies and Cerberus came, and you're like, God damn, they're here too.
Bayonetta, I don't think has any straight-up recolors. Like, even though the enemy types that are similar to past enemy types have model differences.
Well,
but,
they're mostly. I'm more thinking there's the pair of enemies that are really annoying that are usually like red and blue. There's at the very least a harder variation of them at the end in one of the last levels because those two stupid guys that come from the statues or whatever they do killed me like 5 times. So there's definitely some recolors, but it's definitely not as guilty as other games where you have 3 enemies and you fight the same 3 enemies with 5 different colors over and over and over again. So yeah, it's not as egregious as other games, but at some point I don't think you have to expect some recolors in pretty much every game. It's just.
You ran out of time and money.
Not even that though. It's
closest-
just you lose. You don't fight those kinds of enemies again. Like you basically lose an element of. It'd be like if in Mario you just stop seeing Goombas for some reason, and it'd be weird. I guess I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah.
All right, just a quick question to anybody who's played this game. Is there a purpose to the Nyads?
Not that I know of.
Because I think there's 3 of them total. They all give you the same prompt, saying that many people have drowned longing for her embrace, and said something is said to have happened when you encounter all 3. But to my knowledge, the only thing you can do is just go up to them and just say, "Yep, that's a Nyad."
I have no idea, to be honest.
Maybe Kratos
Like,
loses
is it just
interest because he can't rip her arms off. I don't know.
I guess it's kind of a ghostly apparition. Maybe they're just a waymark to know that you're going the right way.
Is that even spelled correctly?
What?
Nyads?
Yeah, NYAD.
It might. Well,
I don't think Santa Monica would get something like that wrong, given how engrossed they are in the Greek culture in this game. Maybe.
I know, it's just something is nagging at my brain. Like when I see a word that's spelled incorrectly, even if it seems to be pronounced correctly, my brain goes off, and I sort of feel like I've seen a word similar to that a lot that isn't.
there might
Word.
be an SMT demon that's based off of those things that has a slightly different name. Because it looks familiar to
Possibly.
me too. But that's the only place I can think that I might have heard of it from. Because
It might also be one of those annoying words that has several spellings in English because it's not originally an English
Yeah.
word.
Probably pronunciation's just, well, Nyads, Naiads.
Yeah.
Nyad. Hello, I'm Kratos, and I'm looking for the Nyads.
yeah, well you can see my nyads right here. It's funny because it's a word for
There's
balls.
no interest in your Nyads.
Yeah, I'm funny.
And the QTE prompt appears over text. Nyads. Don't ask where that goes. Anyway, that obstacle course that I bypassed earlier is just one of 2 instances where the game challenges you underwater. That's about it, though.
Where you
'Cause other
just
than
charge
that,
up and go
the
really
fighting
fast
works.
until you get through.
Essentially, I didn't go through it yet because I figured I had to do that section last. But I think you can do the left or right in any order. It doesn't really matter. Because our goal is that mural that I bypassed, that you see before the pathways branch off. Oh my god, Link just had a shattering orgasm.
Also, Kratos' feet should be cut to pieces because of all the... Oh, never mind. They just magically
God of War.
disappeared.
It could be worse. The underwater sections could be like Devil May Cry 2's underwater sections, where there are entire missions of it, and there's underwater combat, but it's the most boring underwater combat ever.
Is it any different than
And-
DMC 1s where you're first person shooting harpoons?
No, Devil May Cry 2 has this sort of third-person swimming, sort of like this, except with a fixed camera angle, and you're swapping fixed camera angles as you progress exactly the way you would on the ground, which is bad enough. But the combat itself is projectile-based and requires auto-aim to be any good at. The problem with that is that there's a boss in Dante Must Die mode when you're playing as Lucia, which turns invisible and disables your auto-aim, and the Must Die version of that boss never becomes visible, so you basically have to shoot at
Play
random
it
and hope
blind?
you hit. Yeah, I almost 100%ed Devil May Cry 2. I may have told this story in a commentary before. I almost 100%ed Devil May Cry 2, just out of pure stubbornness, because it was easy enough, and I guess I figured I wanted to 100% the whole series. I gave up on that boss because it was just that broken.
Well, it's almost like you're trying to fight something you literally cannot see. It just...
Yeah, the thing is, no matter how frustrated I get, if I'm that close to finishing something, I usually don't give up. So it is a testament to how difficult it was that I did. And no, difficult is the wrong word. Difficult is too respectful. Broken is what it was. It just was not playable.
do you still have that save file if you ever feel masochistic enough to try again?
I don't know. It was on the PS2 version. It might be buried on one of my PS2 memory cards someplace. Thank you for that crossfade.
Yeah.
Are all of the
saying
Nyads
something
in the
backwards.
same level?
Yeah, they're all in the same area.
Yeah, then it's probably just something that's supposed to guide you or something, then.
Oh, glory me.
Look at all that sweet, sweet experience.
Ah,
I know I should be upgrading something at this point, but it can wait. Hey, you also notice in the beginning of this part, you realize that the Blade of Artemis caps at 3 levels rather than the usual 5. I mean, most of the magic attacks cap at 3. The Blade of Chaos cap at 5, and Blade of Artemis caps at 3. Probably because you get it so late in the game. I say late, like halfway point.
Well, late comparative to everything else.
Yeah. But we still haven't gotten our last magic spell either, but
Nope.
we'll take a look at that later. Oh, fuck this place. This is the second obstacle course that they throw at you while swimming. You basically have to swim down this corridor while the crushing walls are trying to crush you. Yeah, I know what I just said.
The impending walls of doom.
The impending walls of doom. If you get caught in them, you get dragged to the abyss.
Hold on, can I just
This
make
does
a
not.
can I make a random guess and that swimming completely disappears from the game after Pandora's
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Figured as much.
Remember me!
this does not look entertaining. It just looks annoying.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like, okay, everyone in the game complained about Hades when this came out. I found Hades legitimately fun because I'm a platformer, and as it turns out, despite Kratos' floaty-looking moon jump,
Ah, scary.
Oh no! The ultimate challenge.
the Hades section was not that difficult for me, and I found it, an interesting challenge and some decent variety after beating things up. But this just looks, and I probably found it boring the first time
Hades'
too.
challenge to me is frustrating first time, fun repeated playthroughs because you just find some interest in a platformer background or not, and then frustrating again where you're trying to get the damn achievements.
Is there an achievement for like beating the game on every difficulty and all that?
I think there is in the HD collection, but there's a specific achievement specifically for Hades where I think it requires to climb one of the towers without getting hurt.
Without getting hurt at all?
Yeah, without getting hurt. You'll see have you ever seen the Hades towers in this game?
I honestly, before this playthrough, I've maybe seen like 10 seconds of God of War footage total.
Then you'll see what we mean when we get there.
Okay.
I like how, like, during the opening volley for this fight, the Minotaur just totally noped you. Like, it blocked your knock-up, it blocked your shockwave, and then it just rammed its hammer into your face.
Yeah, we
It's
call
like,
those
this is
fuck
the-
you frames.
This is the one. After all the gods he's killed and all the monsters he's slain, this Minotaur is the one who's got Kratos' number.
Yeah.
This fucking Minotaur.
Died anyway.
It falls down, and then the mask falls off, and it's actually Ares. God damn it.
Oh, great. It's one of those precise timing things where you have just barely enough time to make it across.
Gotta go fast.
Well, there's not really any challenge to that kind of thing, because you can't exactly vary your running speed, and it's not like there's anything on the platforms that slow you down along the way.
No, it's a basic timing, challenge.
Yeah, I know. It's just not a very good one.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And it's not like
the second
you
one is
can-
a little more interesting. Basically, we're just. This is not even mandatory for progression. We're just going up here to get these chests. Because our real
here's the
exit
thing.
is down below.
What would have made that interesting is if you could be just precise enough with your jumps to not have to climb yourself up the ledge every time you jumped. That would have been, a nice little reward for skill along the way. But no, it's just, did you start fast enough after hitting the switch? That's all there is to it.
Only she knows the secret of the way out.
It's down there, stupid.
She's pointing down. Yeah, that's essentially what she's doing. It's down there, stupid. We shall see the solution in the beginning of next part.
Yeah.
We go down, by the way.